Okay. Good evening, everyone. I am now live. Um, going to try to see what we can do together and talk about some things that you see. The title is about lies, and they ran out of room. Trump administration, Elon Musk, and the Trump administration, and lies. Um, going to want to get some guests on. People who are my followers and have asked to be on before. I'm sending out a couple of invites. Um, but I want to get this to.
Hey,
Give me
Will.
one moment. Hey guys, how you doing, Miss Suave?
How you
Um,
doing, Will?
Doing good. Hi guys. Um, and I am looking for a couple other people. All right, we'll start here. Do not know how to make this thing larger. Drives me nuts. But I'll figure it out later on. Was just starting out and just wanted to, as you can see, the title of this thing is the lies of the Trump and Musk administration. Mostly today, the Social Security administration, Social Security is on the line, guys. It
Oh
is
man,
big
I am
time on the line.
so hot about that shit. And
Um, and go ahead, Mr. Suave.
I'm like ready to break out the pitchforks.
Yeah, we're getting to that point. Part of it too is that, hey GD, how you doing, brother?
Pretty good. How are you?
Doing good. So part of it, going back to Resentment Suave, is like Judge Shulkin's decision today
Hmm.
worries me. I don't know if it's because she's isolated in Washington or it's because the see here the the AGs presented it wrong. They did not present the correct term, and they said it was just hurting their states. All of a sudden, bang, she just said no, and that worries me because now we're probably at the end of our road. Because if she's saying Doge and Musk can do whatever the hell they want, the Supreme Court's going to just basically back her up when they get to the deciding who Trump can or cannot fire, and that's a worrisome thing. Any of you guys on Social Security or carry pull Social Security? You too?
Oh yeah, it's like I'm
Okay.
I'm retired, old and
I
All right.
retired.
I pay into it, but
Yeah. Well, you pay into your account,
right.
and the thing about it that's still bugging me, and if you saw my video on it, is what in God's name these people have no idea how Social Security works. They think Social Security is a tax that goes into some kind of weird other thing like an entitlement that everyone gets, but it's annuity. It's an annuity.
Yeah,
That's
and
all
it's
it
paid
is, an
for
annuity.
by us.
Exactly. And your money goes into your account, and your money is your money. And for the press secretary, the bubble-headed bleach blonde that comes out on five, to go up there, the woman is 26 damn years old. Okay,
Oh, you
and
mean
the
the
only
Deep
way she got
Waters
that,
Umbridge
it,
wannabe?
yes, and the only reason she got that job is because I'm going to say it, and if you want to call me sexist, blah blah, but consider who she works for. Look at her. That's all I got to say. But for her to
Hey,
come out there and yeah, for her to come out there and say they found what is it, 15% of Social Security is fraud without any proof was bullshit. And that Doge is doing all this weird ass stuff. No, no, it is wrong. And I don't know what, I mean, we're at, I mean, I'm losing my fucking mind right now of the stupidity of something that's been with us for over what? What's it, 1940s? Close to 90 years? Over 100, almost 100 years now?
mhm.
FDR.
Yeah, FDR. That people don't know how it works. They don't know how it works. And how is that damn possible? I mean, I mean, I knew how Social Security works for years. I know that's what I get, but
Well, sure. We have a vested interest in it. You got to remember somebody that's got $1 billion could care less about Social Security. It's insignificant to them.
so this comes back to my this will come back to me as the biggest question: why does Elon Musk give a frack whether or not about Social Security? It doesn't affect him. What is the mission here for him? What's the mission?
he doesn't want grandma to get her $65 a day.
Yeah, taking
And
grandma's paycheck.
That's what it is.
It's like he's going to take as much. I mean, it's a big old grift. It's a big old rape.
It's a scam.
Yep.
and the thing about it is that you guys should see the comments I've gotten on my video, and it's all the same bullshit. Elon Musk is saving us. Elon Musk is draining the swamp. Elon Musk is stopping corruption. What? It is like watch. I mean, it's ridiculous. Um,
I've
and
got
I'm like going. Go ahead, sir. I'm sorry, Suave.
I was going to say, I have 3 posts that are going absolute nuts over on
Mm-hmm.
Blue Sky. And I don't know if you guys have seen them yet, but one of them is that we should confiscate Elon's assets, deport him back to South Africa, and little something else. And it's like I'm getting about 300 notifications an hour from people reposting this.
What is he
Yeah.
doing the same handle over there as you do on TikTok?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you can pop over and have a look if you want.
Yeah, I'll follow you over there.
So, I mean, and just the amount of gaslighting they're doing by, and the indiscriminate firing of federal employees is insane. Why do you fire FAA employees? Don't you
Oh,
know what
it's
they do?
nuts. You know what? You
Um,
trying to kill the aviation industry?
well, yeah, I guess. And but
I mean, what's the point of
it's,
that?
I mean, this is it's pure and absolute chaos, and that's what I don't get. If you had a plan, I get it. There is no plan here, guys. There is no plan but chaos. So, um, someone needs to kind of help me. If anyone's because I have an idea, and I'm going to ask you two gentlemen because you follow me and said a lot of things to me. What do you think the end game is for all this, for this chaos? What do you think?
Oh, what's their end game or what's our end game?
No, their end game. I'm the end game. What do you
What
think?
what's their
What do you think they're
goal?
going to do? Yeah, what's their goal? Tearing down everything, knowing that if you rip everything apart, what do you? Then you're left with nothing.
I
What's
think
your end game?
I
Trump?
think they want to steal everything they can that's not bolted to the floor in 4 years.
Yeah. Rape as much as they can, decimate government, and then, you know what the heck? Might as well just make Trump king at that point.
I don't think they want Trump king. I don't think they give a fuck what happens after this 4 years. I think they just want to they want to steal everything that's not bolted to the floor and then run. Because at that point there ain't nothing left. And then they're gonna
Okay.
probably go to some other country and do it there.
Okay. And I've got someone here that wanted to go on and just asked, see if they want to come with us and we'll talk about it. My concern is, and I have a more sinister idea because I'm weird, is that once you strip the government down to nothing, what's left? And the only thing that's left is for them to rebuild a government in a Christian nationalist image. And the reason I'm coming to that solution. Did you guys see a video that went around about showing evangelicals in a conference room next to the Oval Office saying, having a prayer meeting, but it's one of those tongue singing things that evangelicals do? Have you seen that video?
I've seen something like it.
Yeah, and it's like these people are right next to the White House. That, in addition to the AG being the Florida woman who's now the AG, giving her mandate to track down persecution of Christians, it worries me that we're going to look at fascism with a cross. That worries me. I think that might be a sad end game.
Well, I know the saying that was like when fascism comes to America, it'll be draped in a
Right.
carrying a cross and draped in a flag.
Hey, Miss Audrey, how you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for
Good.
having me.
No problem. I just wanted to check in. I saw you requested it. What's on your mind tonight?
Um, I had a friend that posted something, and typically I take the time to research before I share. But in my reading of this, I felt like it was pretty impactful regardless. It would at least drive us to do some more research ourselves. And if you would give me a moment, I would
Sure.
love to share this post. And I will say it was written by Eileen Workman. The first part makes me want to gag, but it will quickly transition if you can give me that moment.
Sure, I understand.
Okay, so by Eileen Workman, I know a little something that so many do not appreciate about Donald Trump, but those of us that work with him in the financial services game have known for many decades, long before he ever run at politics. His stated motives rarely reveal his true agenda. His showmanship, charisma, bedazzles the uninformed, which is exactly how he likes it. He never signed a contract or met an agreement he wouldn't violate or wriggle out of if it didn't suit his agenda. He never met an investor whose purse he didn't consider his own in some strategic way. He never met a human being he wouldn't screw in order to advance or satisfy himself. If you want to understand his beef with Panama, don't look at the canal, to which he now points. Look at Trump Enterprises and their fraught financial and criminal relationship with Panama, and look to the Russian oligarchs who bought condos in his Panama Tower. If you want to understand his fixation on Gaza, don't look at the Palestinian or Israeli people. Look at the real estate value he now perceives that Gaza holds and he'd like to unlock. If you want to understand his insane, obsessive beef with energy renewable windmills, don't look at the wind energy aspect. Look at his beef with Scotland over his golf course and the nearby windmills that damaged his idea of aesthetics. If you want to understand his irrational hatred of Obama, don't look at the policies of the Obama administration. Look at the annual press corps dinner where Obama poked fun at him and bruised his ego. If you want to understand his demonization of Democrats, look not at Democratic social policy, but to the fact that they did not want him to run under the color of their policy. If you want to understand his hatred of immigrants, don't look at the actual contributions and challenges related to immigration, but to his own germophobia and personal disgust for all things, quote, dirty and brown, end quote. What he does so masterfully, as many sociopaths do, is to figure out how to align, however temporarily, his own personal agenda with the drives of those he can then use to help him execute it. And the GOP fell right in line with that abusive strategy. The GOP now looks so much like a battered wife who would love to quit Trump, but who also knows their financial security, personal comfort, and social status would collapse if they ran away. And they fear they won't get much sympathy or support from the people who tried to warn them not to marry the dude. A serial liar, cheater, thief, sadist, and a generally bad person. Many of the GOP politicians today are busily masking their own abuse from the general public. At some point, however, as they watch their power continue to erode, their reputations get smashed and themselves get blamed for the extensive abuse they now suffer. Something's got to give. I don't know what it is, and I personally feel this same way, but every bone in my body feels an energetic convergence heading towards a massive, massive explosion coming soon within this government. And I only hope and pray that it's sooner than later. And I will leave that. Thank you for giving me the time to speak.
All right, Ms. Audrey, I appreciate that. And you guys, I'm going to put this up on YouTube once it downloads. Please send the time to listen to that because that is the best detail of Donald Trump I've heard in a long time. Good job, man. Appreciate
That
that
was
very
very
much.
good. Yeah.
Nice. Thank you.
Please make sure that it is referenced by the person that I got that from, and
Oh,
her
it's going
name.
to go ahead, man. I'm sorry. Well, who was the author? I'm sorry.
Her name was Eileen Workman.
And where did you find this piece?
A very good friend of mine who is LGBTQ posted that.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate that, Miss Audrey. And like I said, I'll put it up on the YouTube, and everyone that has will hear that, and I'll make sure because that was exactly what we're dealing with Trump, and I really appreciate that very much, man.
Thank you. I appreciate
Thank you, man.
the opportunity to speak.
No problem. Anytime. Take care. All right. One quick thing on that. That explains a lot of things that are going on, like the CDC,
Yeah.
FAA, especially the CDC. Trump is petty, and he remembers when the CDC basically made him look stupid, and they did. They made him look. They made him look stupid, very stupid, every day during the pandemic, and so that's why they're going after him. So it is. It basically, bottom line, when Miss Audrey just said, Trump is a bloody petty asshole. Do I get an amen from the congregation on this one?
Amen.
And sir, your name is I'm that mom or ma'am. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, ma'am. Are you there, sir, ma'am? Oh, Christina. Hi, Miss Christina. Can you hear me? Okay. All right. So let me go ahead and oh, can you hear me now?
I think they're
Okay.
probably
Then there's
driving
some.
or something.
Hello,
Yeah. Yeah. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Cool. Sorry about that, ma'am. How can I? What brings you here on this nice evening?
Um, I just think that Musk is in the same vein as Trump. He's attacking agencies that he has beefs with. USAID has investigated him or is investigating him for pulling out of Ukraine with what's his Starlink,
Yeah.
and he's doing the same thing that Trump's doing. He's going after organizations and groups and all that basically have investigated him or looking into things he's done.
Yeah. And there's a video of a hearing subcommittee hearing where the Democratic chairman was going down the line listing every person that had been fired. IG had been Inspector General had been fired by Doge and Musk, and
Hmm.
each one had a connection to either Tesla or to
Space,
Musk
SpaceX.
himself, SpaceX, Starlink. It was ridiculous. And we're speaking to Oliver's mom. Hi, you get a lot of responses from you, ma'am. Good to meet you finally.
Oh, nice to
What's
meet
your
you.
name?
My name's Kim.
Hi, Miss Kim. So yeah, I mean that's what we're kind of fighting right now. It's petty, and I just saw before we came on that Kash Patel got through the committee. That's the FBI director.
Now, see, I
That
haven't
that
gotten
took a
to that
while.
today. I haven't watched a whole lot today. I've had errands to
It
run,
was a
so
Oh, I understand. It was a blurb I saw on quick C-SPAN blurb that popped up. So he's got to get through the Senate, and considering that the Senate let RFK loose,
He'll get through.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
and the thing about it is, it's going to be the FBI has had a lot of problems. We know this. I mean, J. Edgar Hoover, but you have to say something about J. Edgar Hoover. He did it in service to the country. I mean, it was whacked, but he did it in service to the United States. You know, Kash Patel as FBI director is going to do it in service to Trump, and that's a
this
big difference.
he said that the first thing he wants to do on day one is to shut down the J. Edgar Hoover building and turn it into a museum for the deep state.
Whatever the hell that means.
I know. I
Yeah,
agree.
good luck.
And who's the deep state?
I know. I
I,
understand.
I have heard that term for literally what now, a decade.
Yeah. And every time you ask him who the deep state is, no one can answer.
So they give the answer. If you know, you know,
Right. That's the
and
only
if you
thing.
don't know, you're part of the deep state.
That or they just
It
kind of
is.
stammer and go, well, you know.
It's
I have a
it's
question.
yes, Miss Audrey.
So I saw an article today regarding the meetings that Rubio was having with Russia and with um, the Middle East, basically Saudi Arabia. And I saw an article today where, and I'm paraphrasing this, the goal was for Saudi Arabia basically to take over the Middle East, for Putin to basically take over Europe,
Do you mean
and Xi Jinping to take over the Asian states, and then for,
no? Go ahead,
I'm
man. Go
sorry,
ahead. No.
did you have a
Keep continuing.
question?
I apologize.
Okay. And basically for Trump to take over the US, Canada, and South America. And trying, I know very little about BRICS, but basically what it looked like was Trump was trying to join BRICS and have it be a world with only 5 leaders. And that's what scares me more
Consolidation
than
of power.
anything. I'm sorry?
Consolidation of power.
Exactly. And that scares me more than anything because it doesn't matter. I hear a lot of Americans that want to leave the country. You're going to leave the country and go where? To one of the five? Ultimately, I think that would be his goal. And the idea of Trump having a third run in office makes me sick.
Yeah.
And I feel like so many people are being brainwashed and so many people feel defeated that nothing really truly is happening.
I
Are
think
you?
though, Miss Audrey, there's not enough support for that, and Trump couldn't do it. But JD, when we were talking earlier, you said there was a trend you were seeing on TikTok. When you go in and share that, what you shared with me earlier today.
Yeah, well, um, since Trump got in office, my For You page has just been like, oh, woe is me. This is really messed up. And, like, something's got to happen. And then now I got on here this morning, and it's all like, everybody on my For You page is all like, all right, fuck it, let's fight. So,
I
it's
wish
all like,
mine was that way.
it's all like, okay, we're going.
Yeah, because I'll say something, Miss Audrey. I understand what you're saying, but there is all those things have to happen in some weird ass, and no offense to you, but weird vacuum that doesn't exist. There's no way Putin can't even get out of Ukraine, let alone him to push through Europe.
But Trump
The, the,
is now saying that Vladimir Zelensky started the war.
yeah, I know,
Trump
but
says a
it's
lot
not
of
going
stupid
to.
shit.
Yeah, and I'll say this, Audrey. What's going on is that right now there's negotiations to end the war, but it's with the United States and Ukraine, but not the United States and Russia, but Ukraine's not on the table. That's not a peace negotiation. That's two parties trying to depart the country apart. Meanwhile, Europe had an emergency meeting yesterday called in by the president of France Macron, emergency meeting with EU and leaders saying, "Hey, we got a problem. We have to deal with Donald Trump," and they're reaching out to Zelensky and saying, "Hey, we got your back." So what Russia is going to find out really quickly that their useful idiot in the White House isn't going to be useful to them because the Europeans will step up. They're starting to step up, and this is a legacy of Joe Biden.
Biden
Joe
saw this
Biden,
coming.
he saw it coming. He laid the groundwork for a bigger NATO that is really not dependent on the United States. And he convinced all of them, hey guys, you need to stick together. You can't do this. Don't worry, the U.S. will figure it out. And as you can see, the reaction to Trump from the NATO countries, from Canada, from Mexico, from Denmark, they're literally telling him to go to hell. And like the Mexican president, Claudia Sheinberg, man, she is just tearing him a new one.
Yeah.
The Canadians are ready. They don't want to deal with this shit. And so the point I'm saying, man, that's all that they want is a manifest wet dream of people who don't really understand how reality works in the world. Unless they're willing to nuke the world into a cinder, that ain't gonna happen. And I think they want what's left. And Miss Oliver's, Miss Kim, you were going to say something?
Yeah, I think I saw something, and I saw it briefly. Scheinberg today is suing Google over
Yes.
the Gulf of
Yes, I saw
America
that.
thing. Yeah, she I saw her today, and she's not happy with that. She's talking about how the other countries that are surrounding the Gulf, and how he can only rename the so far out from the country, from the U.S. and all that kind of stuff. He can't rename the whole thing, and yeah.
Everything he's doing is for distraction. We all know this.
Yeah, that's all this is.
Oh, have you
And
heard that Scheinbaum's going to make Americans get a visa to go visit Mexico
he's
now?
already doing it.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
Yeah.
read
know.
that.
That's like right on.
Yeah.
I wonder
Personally,
how that will affect those of us that have the driver's license that
Uh,
allows us to go into Canada and to go into um,
Mexico.
Yeah,
Mexico. Yeah.
get a
Yeah, I
visa.
think. Yeah, I think it's going to get to
Doesn't
the point.
matter.
And this
Get
is
a visa.
my opinion. The way things are going, because right now Trump is not looking at Canada and Mexico. He will return to that because it's part of his thing. Someone will say something to him.
he's
But one
he's
thing.
gonna
Go
focus
ahead.
on Europe for a while, and they're gonna tell him to go fuck himself, and then he's gonna go walk away, and then like next week or something, he'll be back on Mexico again.
Can we
Yeah,
all
but
just agree to send Trump a single cheeseburger with extra mayo?
again, I always tell Mike that he's one Big Mac away from the world being saved.
Yeah,
Um, But
People would
one thing
know.
I'm worried about, and I joked when all this came down with the Canadian and Mexican thing, but it may get to the point that Canada and Mexico may just close the borders, take every American that's in both countries, throw them out, and
Hmm.
sit there on the borders waiting. I think that's the next step, where things are going.
Can you
That's
repeat
my
that? I missed
yes,
a piece of that.
yes, ma'am. I was saying is that I think the way things are going, that when I started all this, I thought the Canadians should just shut their border off. Same thing with Mexico, pull up troops and deport every American in their countries and close the embassies and tell Trump go to hell. I thought that was a joke. It ain't a joke now anymore. That might be the next steps for
I
them.
hope not.
For
Michigan's my southern border,
oh, I got you.
So,
Yeah,
or Canada is my southern border. I'm sorry.
because then that'll cut off a lot of stuff, including gas and electricity, and that's not going to be a fun thing
Yeah,
for the
well,
world.
No.
Canada's
Um,
already not buying any U.S. products. They've completely stopped buying U.S. products.
Oh yeah, they stopped.
yeah, no American booze on the shelves. And I cross into Canada probably a couple times a week because I'm so close. I'm only like 20 miles away. And
oh, cool.
Mr.
what they're
Suave, where are
doing,
you? What
I live
area?
up in Whatcom County, Washington, which is
Okay.
called the Fourth Corner.
I'm
And
familiar.
anyhow,
Thank you.
what the border agents are doing, people that they know that cross all the time, they're putting them on a list so that if they have to shut the border down, that people that they consider, that are on their list are cool to come back and forth into the country without having to go through a lot of hassle,
Yeah. I'm
which
in
I think is
Okay.
Michigan.
really nice of them.
And that's wonderful. And I'm in Michigan. I don't go to Canada every week or every couple of weeks, but honestly, hate the fact that trying to do that escape would be more difficult.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the biggest thing right now is like we all have to kind of understand, and I think JD's touched on it, and I've touched on it a lot. I am not of the opinion that Americans are going to sit there and go, okay, I quit. Americans aren't built like that.
No.
There's a percentage of us who want a king. We don't. The majority of us are going to get really mad. And when I say pitchfork and torches, I had someone commented in the podcast I did with Mike last night, where that person said that, well, I don't want young people to die, so it's not resonating. You know what? Young people are getting pissed,
Young people
and
are madder than the old people right now.
and the thing about it is that boomers have really fucked them over. And I know I'm a boomer. I'm 63. I'm in that weird in between. But a lot of boomers have messed
Generation
this.
Jones.
The Joneses.
Yeah, I hate that. I'm stuck because like I hear what like General X talks about. I lived those hour days and through all that, but I'm too old to even be thinking. It's infuriating because I'm not that generation. And my opinion of that generation, the hardcore ones, is that they're the only generation in my mind have ever brought anything to the table for the country. They only took from the table.
Hmm.
And so they're not leaving anything for us. And so the idea that young people will just give up, no.
Mhm.
And that's the thing. If it gets bad, and I saw, did someone tell me this is not fake? There was a protest in Tennessee that brought the National Guard out, and the troops laid down their shields and stood behind with the
Yes.
Yes,
protesters.
I
I
saw
saw
that
that.
What
photo.
was
I
that
don't know.
about? Please.
I
Oh,
don't
I
know if
saw
that's
that.
recent or not.
Yep.
Yeah. I didn't research it a whole lot, but I did see the photo of it. They're
Yeah.
standing
Um,
behind the
I did too.
protesters,
I did not
and the
do
shields are
research
behind
either.
them.
is
Oh,
that recent?
that was like
Today or
yesterday.
yesterday.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
recent.
they had all the big protests all over every state, in every state capital. They
It
had a
was the "Not
protest.
My President, Not My King"
Yep.
protest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And here's an encouraging story. So, anyway, I live in Whatcom County, which is very liberal. It's very blue county. The county directly south of me, Skagit County, is very red. Yesterday, they had a protest in Skagit County at the county courthouse that drew almost 10,000 people
What
No
state?
way.
protesting Trump.
What state?
Washington.
Okay. Did I join the wrong group? Because I'm in Michigan.
No, that's all
No,
right.
I'm
I'm
in
in
Well, I'm
Georgia.
all over.
I'm in West.
I'm
We're
in
all
Illinois.
over.
Get this. I'm in
All
West
right.
Palm Beach, Florida.
The hornet's
Ooh,
nest.
you
Are you
are
gonna
in the
host us for
thick,
a
Kim.
Are you gonna host us for a protest?
It would be nice. It's tough. I mean, I really haven't seen a whole lot going on down here. I know other parts of Florida have experienced things with immigrants and all that kind of stuff, but it's kind of quiet down here. You know, prices aren't going too crazy and all that kind of stuff. And I think it's because of who has a home in this area. I don't think
Hmm.
he wants a lot of controversy down here. He wants to see it all nice and calm.
Hmm.
I have a question for our Florida person there. What do you know about the special elections coming up there?
There's
What
two
is
of
it, the
them.
first
There's,
and the
I
sixth?
believe, in the first and the sixth districts, and I don't remember what their names are, but there are ways to go on and contribute to their campaigns, even if you're not in their districts or even if you're not in our states. And they've been getting a lot of traffic, from what I understand. Also,
Do you
um,
know how they're polling?
I do not. Might be able to look it up.
Yeah,
Like polls are worth anything.
the sixth district is the Democrat in the sixth district is Josh Wheel. In the first district, it's Gay Valamont.
Yep, those are
Yes,
the two.
that sounds right.
How are they looking?
Mm.
JD, you had that information. Do you looking?
Yeah, I don't know how they're polling. I haven't looked at that.
Oh, I see Josh Wiles post every now and then on Facebook trying to drum up some support. And there's a big, oh, lady, hear me out on this on TikTok here that's doing a big, like, 100,000 friendly postcards to
Yeah,
folks down there in those districts.
Yeah,
I
we need to.
follow her.
Yeah, those two seats are real important because that could shift the balance of power in the Congress to Democrats, and then
definitely?
it's on. It would be on. Now, there's there's a movement right now in the Senate. John Thune, the Senate Majority Leader, is actually trying to get the budget that Trump wants approved in the Senate, which includes the $880 billion cut of Medicaid, basically eliminate Medicaid. He wants to get that approved in the Senate and the Senate to the House so they can take care of it because he knows that the House ain't going to do shit. But he can't do that. Constitutionally, he can't do that. He cannot start a budget bill in the Senate. Am I correct, or am I
I
lost
think
my
you're right.
civics?
I think I think funding bills have to start in the House of Representatives because back in the early days of this country, the House of Representatives were the only like the senators were appointed, representatives were elected by the people, and so the funding had to start by the elected representatives in the House, and then it went to the Senate.
Yeah,
But
the,
I
the,
think
the spending
That
bill will
sounds
start in
right.
the House.
Um, as
Yeah.
I
So
understand it,
go
both
ahead, Mr.
parties can put forth a bill, and then they have to go into a committee and reconcile it. Kind of make the bills match.
Right. But the point is, you can't initiate a funding bill in the Senate.
I think you're
They
right.
only approve it. It has to come out of the House. And for John Thune to said that just kind of made me kind of titch my head, because that's not your job. That's Speaker Johnson's job. And that tells you how bad is in there. Anyway, they're not doing anything but collecting paychecks from all of us and doing nothing.
Well,
Speaking of doing, go
they're
ahead, Ms.
having
Kim.
they're having a hard time coming up with Trump's one big beautiful bill. That's the problem. I think there's a lot of people who want to do two separate at least, and Trump wants one big beautiful bill to do the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I call
Hold
that,
on, I have
that's
my
basically,
tablet. I'm
okay, go ahead,
gonna.
ma'am.
The
No,
the,
I'm
si-
looking it up.
yeah, the 6th district gentleman is
Mm-hmm.
ahead in early voting by double the votes.
Good.
Which one, the Democrat or the
The
Republican?
Democrat.
We'll see. We thought this in November 5th. I have no faith in polls.
Well,
Sorry.
this isn't a poll. This is actual early voting, evidently.
Oh, they're already
I
being.
hope that's true. That would be something that would rock everything to the core. Because here's the thing: if Hakeem Jeffries becomes speaker, he would drag Elon Musk and all those little pimply-faced munchkins into the Senate, into the House for hearings. It would be on.
Oh yeah.
And it might. I mean, they might not get some legislation done because it'd be fighting through the Senate. But if they get those guys in there, we'll just go Republican on them and beat them over the head with their own sticks.
Well, the
That's
thing
what we need
is,
to do.
if we can flip the House, no legislation, none of Trump's agenda moves forward, and
No,
yeah,
it's TOA.
yeah. I mean, it's not going to move forward now just because how fractured the Republican Party is. But it would be just full stop. And what would be interesting to me is to see if the House could impeach him, because word on the street is, and Eric talked about this, the word on the street is that there's enough Senate votes to convict this time. So
If they have the cojones to do it, I doubt
exactly.
it. That's my biggest thing with that. I
Aren't
want to
there
move on to something.
yeah,
Go
aren't there a
ahead,
number
Miss
of
Kim.
aren't there a number of senators that are either retiring or not going to go for reelection? And hopefully they'll get some kahunas and decide that they're going to do the right thing there.
Mitch
I don't
McConnell
know.
being at the top of that list.
Yeah.
I think McConnell will be a
Yeah.
good vote.
So with that wonderful idea of watching that turtle, I wanted. Speaking of turtles, did anyone catch RFK's act for his first speech as HHS secretary?
No.
It was his saying that, my ideas might not be popular, but we're going to come up with better solutions and everything. He is questioning he's basically cutting school districts loose from vaccines requirements. He is questioning the MMR vaccine. And the biggest thing here, and I haven't heard him back off on it, the idea that if you take any kind of antidepressants, especially children, and especially ADHD children, they need to be removed from the drugs and sent to one of his,
Work farms.
work farms. He calls it something else.
My
Um,
thing
That's
is,
so
I'm a
freaking
nurse.
That
I am
yeah.
a registered
man.
nurse, and I want to know why we do not have somebody with a formal medical background in that position.
'Cause
Whether
it's
it's a psychiatrist, a medical doctor, a doctor of a DO, a doctor of nursing, doctorates of nursing, why we do not have a medical professional in that job.
Audrey, you're absolutely right. But the problem is that Trump's nominees are going to go through, and he nominated RFK Jr. and he went through.
That's because
and
nobody professional is going to work for
But,
Trump in the first
but
place.
Exactly.
No, nobody wants anything to do with him.
So it's
And
like all
also,
we get is all the clowns that pay fealty, and it's like they're just a bunch of doggies.
yeah, quid pro quo, and there's no competency. Well, I mean, look who's Secretary of the Transportation. This guy has no idea what he's talking about. He has no idea how it works. They fired more FAA, as we talked earlier, and he's up on the podium saying everything's okay, guys. But yeah, what is it? 5 aircraft on the
It's
ground so
not just
far?
that. It's every single position of ultimate power, and I'm saying that sarcastically and in air quotes. Um, Nobody that he has put in position legitimately has the experience or the knowledge to do the jobs. And
No,
my frustration is that we're not doing anything but sitting around and talking about it or quietly protesting.
yeah. I
That's
mean,
my
we are.
frustration. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to
No.
be.
It's a totally good frustration, Ms. Autry, because my mom was a public health nurse for 20 years in LA County. So if she was around today, she'd be pulling her hair up at the roots because she used to deal with these outbreaks in LA County. Measles, mumps, they come occasionally. Chicken pox. So it's like it's insane right now that the idea is that this man whose only qualification is that he helped Trump get elected, and he goes, "What do you want? I want this because I want to make America healthy." Yeah, dude, you have no idea what you want. And again, the point to me, and always will be, you can encourage people to do things, but you can't make them do it because it's their right to do what they want with their lives, whether or not I mean, if they want to do it, fine. And the problem is, this man wants to force that on people. And I've always said this, and I said this whenever I brought up RFK. The remarks I get is basically, you look to yourself, look to yourself. You're not healthy. Why do you care? Guys, this is my life, and I've been like this all my life, but my cholesterol is fine, and I'm going to outlive any of you stupid assholes who comment on me, but I don't want RFK, telling me what to take to control any kind of brain imbalance. And you can encourage me to eat better. Maybe the idea of kind of getting away with some other foods, those are great ideas, processed foods. But when you come after people and say you must do it or else, that, ladies and gentlemen, is fascism. And that ain't going to work for me. I mean, simple as that. Bottom line, this puppy.
Well,
I
and
Overall.
personally would think that if you're going to have a person in that position, that they
Mm-hmm.
should be the ultimate um,
They should be
example
knowledgeable.
of health. And the man can't even talk properly. Like he's been smoking and snorting so much that I'm sorry, I'm just being blunt.
I know.
He
Well,
sounds like
that's the
he,
reality of the Trump administration.
and there's nothing at this point, there's not anything that anybody is actively doing to fix that. You know what I'm saying? I just,
Yeah.
I had such hopes in, and I'm sorry, I'm manipulating the conversation. I don't mean to. I'm
No, you're
just real
good, Miss Audrey. Go
passionate.
ahead. No, usually it's me. Go ahead. I'm good.
You have you have people like Hakeem Jeffries. I loved him. I had such hope in him. Cory Booker. I had such hope in him.
Jasmine Crockett.
And that's what I was getting ready to get to. Of the entire Democratic Party, the only two people that you hear consistently speaking out are Jasmine Crockett and AOC.
Bernie Sanders too.
Yes,
Bernie
Bernie
Sanders is
Sanders.
speaking out, but I love Bernie, don't get me wrong. But a lot of people dismiss Bernie because of his age. I don't agree with it. I think he has great ideas. I think he would have been an awesome president 4 years ago or 8 years ago. But at this point, where are we at? Everybody's hush hush. Nobody wants to get voted out. Everybody's scared, and it's a shame.
Yeah, exactly. And one of the things is that, hey, coach, how you doing?
Good man. How you been?
I'm doing good. Want to piggyback on what you said, Miss Audrey. Coach Mox is here. The guys who've followed the Rational Boomer, he pops up. He's a follower. He's got some good stuff he's been talking about. Coach, this Miss Audrey, Miss Kim, JD's here, Mr. Suave. Just wanted to bring you in and see what you think. We're talking basically. We're on the heroin addict that's now a former heroin addict that's now the HHS secretary and his
With
plans
no
for America to
medical,
get healthy again.
with no medical
Yeah.
um, educational background at
Right.
that.
This is how the whole this is how everything works for him. You know, it's inexperienced, either alcoholic or recent drug addict. It doesn't matter. And to think he wiped DEI out, crazy.
It
But
sort of reminds me of Kellogg. Do you any of you know about years ago Kellogg, the actual owner, developer, whatever of Kellogg, had a retreat spa that you would go to, and he believed that eating his cereal would be the best thing for you and would make you healthy.
right.
Mm.
And it's sort of the same thing. I mean, yes, you can eat healthy, but there's other things that are involved, and you have to look at other things out there. I mean,
Yeah.
my health. There's a lot of things in my health that no matter what RFK suggests, isn't going to do any good. I was born with a congenital birth defect of my heart. I had open heart surgery 12 years ago. And he can't fix that or change that with all of his ideas.
No.
And there's a lot of things that stem from that aren't going to be able to change with all of his ideas. What will change is better health care. And that's what he should be focusing on.
It,
No, but
And
what he wants to do is throw us all in, anybody, and I say all of us. I'm just making a general statement that anybody that requires mental health medication, whether it's for depression or ADD or whatever, into a blanket box and send us all to some kind of concentration camp.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I apologize. I want to apologize to everybody. I have been sick since July of last year, and I
oh, I'm sorry,
cannot get
man.
rid of this cough. And I apologize that I constantly am coughing throughout these lives. I don't mean to. I apologize.
No, that's okay. We're good. So, Coach, I've been watching some of your stuff. What's bugging you today since you're up here with the rest of us? And what our
uh,
actions, what we think we best we can do with it? What's
I
on your
think
mind right now?
what's on my mind is I went and scared the shit out of myself tonight, and I read. I just got into how the human brain and how the cult affects it, and how how it works. Left to right, emotional versus real knowledge, and how a cult will essentially just take that rational thinking and it's gone. And if you look at what is really happening right now, I mean, and again, I'm not trying to sit here and point the obvious, but this is really happening. Like it almost just kind of really hit me when I was reading about how this happens. And when you look at the guy lost the election in 2020, all right, he tried to burn our Capitol down. They still followed him. He went and got the richest man in the world to buy Twitter for him in 2022. That guy spread, that was a propaganda blowhorn, Twitter. and he spread these lies. He was doing crazy lotteries. He sent fake emails out. Just the effort that he gave to get Donald Trump elected, they can't logically even put that together as to why he wanted to do that so bad. So, and now, even now the guy's in the office doing the opposite of what he said he was going to do. They're paying higher at the pump, they're paying higher groceries, and they're still clapping. This cult, like it is, we got to realize this. Like I have kind of been waiting for them to say, hey, look, I showed you. But all they're doing is saying, hey, look at Elon. Don't look at the gas pump. And they're watching him. Like they're so.
They're all thinking they're going to get a payday.
Oh, they don't. They are just. I'm talking. I don't know how we get out of this. I don't know how. This is a massive cult, and I've used that word, not knowing the things that I read about tonight, and now it kind of has hit me like, hey, this is real. Like they are in a cult. Like they're still cheering for a guy. He said he knew nothing about Project 2025. He's going down the checklist. He's going down the checklist, but they continue. He's raising taxes on me. I'm gonna keep clapping. Hey, cool. It could be he could come get some of their firstborn child, and they would let him. I mean,
Yes, sir.
I swear to you that I know that sounds extreme, but there are people out there that would let that happen, and it scares the shit out of me to think.
Does anybody have any current figures on the percentage of MAGA to the rest of the people in the country?
It's probably, well, let's look at it. How many votes did he get? Popular vote, was it 77 or
70? Yeah, I think 77. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Still was less than Biden.
Those are
Now-
reasonable Republicans
Yeah.
and independents that said, "Oh, well, let's give them a shot," that are now pissed off. It's like, what's your actual MAGA base? What's the actual base of the dumb shits that
large?
perpetuate his fucking cult?
Yeah, large.
That's the thing, because the people that we're seeing split off from Trump now are the Republicans and independents that said, "Oh hell, he's better than Kamala."
And
That's
I don't
not the
think that.
MAGA base.
And the MAGA base is much larger than the group. I think, and maybe I'm wrong because I'm in a red state, but I can tell you this: I can still go find a farmer that's getting all his shit taken from him that would still tell you it's not Trump's fault.
Yep.
Oh, sure. I mean, there's a bunch of them around. It's like I see that every day.
And I wish I almost
I
wish
also
read
see
that.
more and more reasonable Republicans and more independent people that are going, yeah, I can't deal with this. I can't do this. So it's like, all right, now I'm back on the other side,
Yeah.
but we're already fucked.
Yeah, I think there's going to be some that do that. If you're like me, when he first got in there and he did nothing about the grocery price, everything went the other way, and then he started with. Think about this for 1 second. Think about the fact that we have people sitting in this country who think Canada is our fucking enemy right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I agree. And I'm in Michigan.
That
And-
blows my freaking mind to the sky. But again, you got to understand, this guy, it's whatever he says, period.
Hey, Coach, where are you from?
I'm in North Carolina, near Charlotte.
So, just to give you some background on me, I was born in Massachusetts, was raised in South Carolina, lived most of my life in North Carolina, and then due to work with myself and my husband, we've lived in Texas, Minneapolis, and now we're in Michigan. And
Right.
I completely get where you're coming from. And I am so disgusted that my own children who are in South Carolina have been brainwashed by this. And it's like, oh, you're stupid, Mom. You don't know what you're talking about, Mom.
It doesn't matter.
I have lived through this, and I'm going to say right now, it's an atrocity what's happening, and what really upsets me is that as as a person,
Yeah.
I have always voted. Which way, this way, that way. I have always voted. And when the vote is done, I've always respected
Yeah.
the
Totally.
outcome
Yeah.
until now.
Yeah.
And I am so disturbed
Yeah.
that at this point, we're just kind of all caught in the blender
Yeah.
until whatever shoots out the end,
Yeah.
and
It's crazy.
it's crazy.
Yeah, the problem I have is that I'm the only liberal in a family of Trumpers. And bad part is my 81-year-old mother is one of them. Now, I was raised
Wow.
on unconditional love. So I can't push myself away from my family because of that, but I can't talk politics. I can't get anything through to them. I can't make them see the light no matter what I do. And, my mom will bring something up and I'll start discussing it with her. And then we'll get into an argument and I'm against her. And it's like, Mom, I'm not against you. I'm just trying to get you to see, to read, to research. And she won't do it. It's hard.
I'm kind of in the same situation where I have an ex-husband that has now passed, but my children have been influenced by his parents. My current husband, I've only been married twice, and I are very democratic. And we are in a household where we are caring for our aunt who was never married, but was a missionary. And we are all democratic. And it has broken my heart that I'm almost completely off of Facebook. I'm only on Facebook because my mother-in-law is in a nursing home and that's her only contact with family. But I legitimately have disconnected, blocked so many people because they're in your face, like, Trump's your president and you don't like it and you want to be mad about it.
Trump's your daddy.
And I'm just like, I just want to survive the next 4 years and hope to God that my God and Savior makes it to where he cannot run a third term, because that
he's not.
is the most
I hope it
terrifying
doesn't
thing
take
ever.
4 years.
Yeah.
No, see what we're dealing with. It's I've seen cults, and I think what we're at is we're all old enough in this room to remember Jonestown.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now understand what at Jonestown, where we're at right now, is the end of Jonestown, where even though he is Jim Jones is in his chair, telling people everything, just spouting his stuff off while they're drinking their Kool-Aid and dying.
Yeah.
And they still follow him.
Yeah.
And we're at this point. I mean, now they're saying, to pay the higher prices is to be an American.
Completely.
Is to be patriotic.
Yeah.
And the point right now with these guys, and I think, and Mike made the good comment, is that I don't care anymore about you guys.
Yeah.
There are some people who still want to reach across. We can't. These people are so deep. And cults end badly, okay? Cults end badly. And the point is, what a lot of people don't get is that they're stripping down the government, they're pissing people off, and in the end, the only people that are going to stay with it are the cultists, and the cultists will pay the price that Trump and the Republican Party are going to pay. Yeah. Because there are more of us still of them, and we will step over them to get our country back, and they don't get it. They think they're the toughest. They are not. Americans get pissed, and when they get pissed and get together, shit happens. And this point, the America that Trump has isn't my America, guys.
No,
it's not the America I grew up with. because the one thing that they took out of all these Trump-la-fucks is empathy. None of them care about anybody else but Trump, and not even themselves.
Yeah.
Can you imagine living in your life without caring about anything?
No.
No.
And
Well,
you
I mean-
know, being in North Carolina and going through what I went through with the hurricane and the shit that I heard out of Trump's mouth, out of MAGA people, the lies, the constant lies about. I was up there digging people out with a contract.
Oh,
I saw
Aren't
the
you
truth.
still digging people out?
I saw the troops. I saw FEMA. They had distribution centers set up like that in every county. And
My
all
son-
all
my
that we
son is a
heard
police
Peter,
officer.
was how fucking bad they were. How bad they were. How Biden isn't doing this. How he's not calling the governors. This, that. And now Kentucky gets hit all of a sudden, right? With what he's done to FEMA, all right? And now they still can't see it. They still think that they won't mention anything about no FEMA set up yet. There's nothing in this county. There's nothing. It's just amazing the
All they're
difference
talking about-
in the ignorance.
All they're talking about right now is the Daytona 500. I haven't
Yeah.
heard,
Well, I was getting
I
ready
haven't
to
heard a
say.
goddamn word about
It-
Kentucky
God,
yet.
that was a friggin'
That,
circus.
that in the Super Bowl.
It drives me
Well,
crazy.
and that's my question: is you're going after government waste, but you're going to send him to the Super Bowl and send him to the Daytona 500? Are you kidding me?
It's
That's not waste.
Hell no.
there is no.
But the thing about the Daytona 500 that just basically pisses me off people more than one thing. The presidency has a certain decorum to it. Flying Air Force One over the Daytona 500 is not part of your job. And then taking the presidential limousine for a lap around the track.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that is about as redneck bullshit as you can get. How do you even
He's
think?
calling his base.
It's all about
But
him.
I-
On his base.
but-
and
It's got to be about him.
it's all
gotta be
about
about him.
him. It's
He
not
probably,
about
you know, he
people.
probably flew right over. He probably looked out the window at Eastern Kentucky flooding on his way down.
Probably.
And Petty Pendergrass was in the comments. Hey, Petty, I've seen your videos and we talked a few bit. He said for both the Super Bowl and for that bit was $25 million apiece.
Yep.
That's $50 million of our money. And then do you have the gall to tell me that you're rooting out corruption?
This-
Oh, God, please.
That's
Oh, by the way, he's
most-
been playing
Where's
golf
Doge
again.
when you
Yeah,
need
I,
him?
I ride past the airport where Trump comes in,
Yeah.
and I saw Air Force One sitting there the other day when he flew into the area to go to Mar-a-Lago,
Yeah.
and it was just sitting there. He jumps on Air Force One and comes here to play golf, and entertain or have guests or whatever, and it's crazy, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. It's a stunt. It's all it was. And he, why couldn't that plane end up on his roof? I don't know, but
Coach, be careful.
I know. I'm sorry.
You want to
What
Oh,
area?
yeah, we haven't gotten reported yet. We haven't got reported yet, thank God.
I'm just
Coach,
saying.
Um,
Coach, are you in Eastern or Western North Carolina?
I'm in Piedmont, like near Charlotte.
Okay, I
Yeah,
got
so
you
I'm-
because my husband and I were in Hendersonville, which I'm
Okay.
sure you're familiar with.
Oh yeah.
We have
Yeah.
lots of family there,
Yeah. Pretty
you
good.
know, and suffered lots of devastation
Oh,
with
yeah.
the hurricanes.
I don't think.
And
They don't understand how bad that was. Like that was
no, and
that
my
was-
son is a police officer in Charleston
right.
who took his time off to go up there and help those people in Chimney Rock, and
And people came from everywhere. It was great. I mean,
and it was awesome.
yeah.
But
But
the
you don't hear
people
that.
coming in
no,
to say that the Democrats caused the hurricane
yeah.
were
Now I
trying
want to put.
to beat
Yeah,
up police
That big weather
officers.
machine.
I guess now that they got control of the weather machine, like Marjorie Taylor Greene would think, they
Yep.
just steered it over two of the biggest, two reddest states in the whole damn country.
Yep.
and flooded them out. So I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe they need to get
and
somebody else to control it. But going back to
yeah.
that,
Go
the
ahead. Sorry.
hurricane, just to tell you how sick these people are, they had stories on here. I'm talking shit that you would think a movie screenwriter would write about people being buried up to their necks and how they felt their family tugging at their feet. And the guy told them, don't rescue me because my family's dead. They took stories from shit that happened in different countries from years ago, right? From
Right.
earthquakes and, just amazing stories. They took those stories and brought them here. Like, this is how sick they are. These son of a bitches were on here crying and telling it. Like, they're sick. They're that sick, knowing they're lying. If you can sit here and lie and cry as you're making shit up, you need help. Like,
Yeah.
you need help.
Yeah.
That's bad.
I brought in a gentleman that he's been following me for a while, and I've watched his videos. Hey, Petty, how you doing, brother?
What's up?
Your microphone's on. There you go. How you doing, brother?
Yeah, I'm good. And yourself, bro?
I'm doing good. Hey, just thank you for participating. As you can see, what we're talking about, we're basically talking about the cult.
Oh,
And what do
yeah.
you know, what's bothering you today? What's up on the agenda for you?
The thing about it with me is what kills me is now that you know what I mean. They done basically voted for this, and now they're bitching and whining and crying and slinging snot, and we tried to warn you. And then after all the shit, you have the nerve to ask us to, oh, let's unite. No, motherfucker, you didn't want to unite 4 years ago when Biden was here, so why would I want to unite with you now?
I
It's
want to do it.
the hypocrisy for me, bro. Like, the hypocrisy is astounding.
Yeah.
It's it just it just blows my mind, y'all.
Hey guys,
No,
I'm
That's all I have
sorry.
to
I'm
say.
gonna have to cut out. I've totally enjoyed the conversation. I
thank you.
appreciate it and hope I'll be welcome back.
Anytime, as Audrey, reach out to me if you
Yeah.
need anything. You be careful out there, all right?
All right, thank you guys. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
you.
Okay.
Have a
Good
great
night.
night.
Thank
You
you.
too.
Thank you.
Good
Bye.
night.
So, I'm sorry, Miss Petty. One thing that are you talking about the Republicans that are regretting their vote? You're talking about the far left that didn't vote or voted against Kamala Harris as a protest.
Hey guys, I'm gonna
I'm
split for a
talking
while,
about the
so
chick.
I'll see you in a bit. Got to take the dog out, so we'll see you after a while. Thanks a bunch.
See ya.
Good night, Mr. Suave.
Go ahead, sir.
So the thing that kills me is I forgot her name, the chick from Dearborn, Michigan, that was on national TV talking about, you know what I mean, talking bad about Joe Biden and talking bad about Kamala Harris, and then sat up there on national TV talking about, oh, give your vote to Jill Stein or to Trump, but do not give Kamala your vote. And then what
Mm-hmm.
happened? What, about a month and a half later, after they figured out what Project 2025 was, now he's about to go take your shit, and you're begging for their help, but it was already too late. See, like,
Yeah, and
you should have
go
known
ahead.
better in the first place.
But you can't reason
Yeah.
No,
with them. They
I'm
just
done.
don't get it.
And the worst thing about that is that they did an interview with literally in Michigan Palestinians for Trump, and they actually asked them, "How do you feel now?" They still believe Trump will bring peace to the Palestinian state.
There.
They still support Trump.
How?
Yeah, I've never. I mean, it is
That's
like it's insane.
He just
It's absolutely crazy.
Think
just
about it. Think about it.
land grab.
If you voted for, we voted for Kamala Harris, right? Think about this. Think about if she got into office and she won, and everything she campaigned on, she went in the opposite direction, right? A normal brain, a normal adult brain would be upset, would be pissed off, right? But we have too many right now that are cheering that they got lied to. like cheering. And even though their life is going to be more difficult now, and they're going to get higher tax, they're not going to get the tax break that the billionaires are getting, and it's all going to the billionaires, right? And he did, in fact, know something about Project 2025, and they continue to cheer. There's no turning back now for those people that are still behind him now today. In my opinion, I don't. Again, I can go find a farmer right now who's he's about to lose his damn farm, and he's still behind this guy, and that's how sick it is right now.
It's crazy to me. I talk to farmers every day that are still 100% with him. It blows my mind.
Yeah, it's wild. Like, but again, after reading what actually happens to your brain, and I wish I wouldn't have read it now because it scares the living shit out of me. But it's chemical. It's science. Like
it's like being addicted.
Yeah.
Like any alcoholic, any drug addict, you're looking for something to replace something in your
They're
life.
done though. They're cooked.
And they're cooked. It's basically, let's be honest, they're meth addicts.
Yeah.
And they can't get off it. Their teeth are falling out, their hair's falling out, but they're still going to look for the next hit. And that's what it is with Trump.
Yeah, like I said, there's nothing that man can do. Nothing. Listen, so, he can make gas go to $8 a freaking gallon right now. It does not matter.
But that's the crazy thing, though. Like, it's insane. You know what I mean? You're talking about that you want to get better and do this and do that, but yet you're hooting and hollering about a dude that just sat behind a desk for like 3 hours and just wrote half your life away in front of you, and you're over there, all right, we own the libs.
It does not.
And now you're on TikTok. TikTok crying like a brand new baby who just got his ass spanked by the doctor.
Yeah, and he leads them around like a dog on a leash, and he says, "Look here," and they look there, and then he goes behind here and does whatever he needs to do. It's sick.
So I'm gonna ask, this is for like JD and for you, Coach, since you guys talk to farmers, why do they? What's their reasoning? Because I know you don't sit there and go, okay, whatever. I know you have to ask why. What are they thinking that Trump's going to do for them? Even they may lose their farm or their livelihood.
JD, you might know more. Go ahead if you want to say so. I don't mean to.
Well, I can't really figure it out. I try not to really get into the weeds too much just to keep things smooth. But yes. I think a lot of it has to do with religion. I mean, I can't speak for all of them, of course, but partly religion, I think, has a big part of it. And then the other part of it is, too, I think that, most farmers have just always been Republicans. And they will vote for whoever has the R next to their name.
Yeah.
And I think it just has to do with, what news you watch. They watch Fox, I watch NBC. I think that's literally just all it is.
Yeah. And didn't Trump bail them out when he put the tariffs on his last term, and he bailed the farmers out?
Well, he put them in a bad spot and then bailed them out.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that made all of it okay in a lot of farmers' minds that, okay, well, he made it right. He made a mistake.
Well, they probably think
he had no choice
this time.
I'm wondering if did Biden give you more than what Trump did?
I don't know if he gave us more necessarily, but he didn't fuck over our trade deals.
He in my opinion, I would say, look, Biden was coming out. He did one of the best jobs as far as getting our economy turned around after a worldwide recession, which is what those people will never admit happened. They can't put two and two together up here that the whole world was in a recession. And it was whatever came out of Dumpy's mouth. It was all the lies. It was, Biden's fault for this, Biden's fault for that. When in fact, some of the hole we had to dig out was Trump's fault. I mean, but again, it doesn't. I think personally, Biden was on his way and had this economy exactly where it needed to be, and here he comes again. Just to see him come in and take a wrecking ball to it again is just disgusting. Like it's
I mean, the amount of jobs that have been lost in the first month of the Trump administration, if
yeah.
you don't you take out just the federal employees they got
Oh,
rid of, because
yeah.
that'll show up on a jobs report, guys.
Yes.
But him stopping the infrastructure construction, they're laying off people, they're getting rid of people. Those projects are dead in the water.
Yep.
Why? Because Biden did it.
Yep.
They're dead in the water. They need to be reevaluated.
Yeah.
The next jobs reports come in March. I'm looking forward to see that shit. It
Yeah.
is going to be horrendous. There's going to be more people filing for unemployment because the problem we're having right now with the federal employees, with these the Trump-a-fucks and firing all these people, is they think these people are people. They
Yeah.
think they're federal drones. They think they're robots. These
them,
people
they're-
have
to them,
jobs.
They're just numbers to them.
Yeah, but they have jobs. They have families.
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
they're civil servants serving the nation, but
mean-
they don't see them as that. And if I see one more motherfucking comment about draining the swamp, you can all kiss my fucking ass.
Yeah, they're
Because
ignorant.
Trump brought
Well,
not
hey,
only the
invite 'em in.
swamp,
Get-
he
get
brought in
Indiana
the
Jet in here.
crocodiles for fucking.
Let
Say
me
again,
talk
sir?
to him. You want to come in? Get him in here. See if he wants to fucking run his mouth in here.
I blocked
Who's
him.
this?
Okay. All right. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah,
I'll
but
make
see,
them,
the
I'll
point
make
is
them
like,
cry when they come in mine.
Because-
they end up crying or blocking me because
Good.
they don't.
Yeah, and
they're so
it's-
stupid and ignorant.
it's the same old shit that
Yeah.
doesn't fly anymore.
But see, this is the call.
Swamp.
This is the call.
Yeah.
That's all. Drain the swamp because he said drain the swamp. That's in their head now. I'm gonna go get gas that's higher. My groceries are gonna be higher, but drain the swamp. Like that's it. That's the call.
All of the responses from Trumplefucks in this conversation have been like 3 responses, pretty much. That's about
That's it.
Yeah.
That's all you're gonna see right now. Drain the swamp. You don't want to see the corruption or some other ignorant shit. And
Elon's exposing you. That's another
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, because his Twitter is a fact checker, right? Like
Oh, yeah.
he brings no proof.
Right.
Gotta bring them
Yeah,
down.
no receipts,
Community
no
notes
proof.
in here.
Just because he tweets
And,
it.
and here's the thing, that the other thing that these guys think is that they save all this money. They're exposing the corruption.
Yeah.
They think the money's coming back to them.
Oh, they,
Let me
they
make
think
this
life's gonna be
clear.
good. Yeah, they think life
Yeah,
will
let
be
me make
good.
this clear. In the budget that the Republicans have proposed, they put in the tax cuts, and they have to do the math. The original tax cuts, and this is some of the information AOC has gotten, the original tax cuts cost us $1.7 trillion.
Yeah.
If they continue the same tax cuts into now the 2025 era and do what they want to do, it's going to cost us $4.3 trillion.
And they don't get
Sit on that number for a second.
These are the same people, okay, that were waiting for Hell's Angels to show up in Colorado to fight some imaginary bullshit.
Exactly.
This is what we're dealing with.
What they
And the
don't,
reason that they're
what people
ahead,
don't realize is that the tax plan we're under right now was actually put into effect by Trump, and it was set to last until through 2025.
Here's another
So
one.
we are
God bless
currently
Trump.
living under
he's brain
his
dead.
tax plan.
Yeah.
and here's the thing: the reason why they're going after Social Security is that they're sitting on that bunch of money. Understand? They brainwash these idiots to think, hey, if we get that money is been taken from the budget. Hey, dumbasses, that money is separate from the budget. Has nothing to do with the deficit because it's an annuity. If they get their hands on that money, it will be dumped into the hands of the for 1%ers to pay for their goddamn tax cuts. We will not get anything. So I want to ask you guys, you Trump-fucks who keep showing up, when your grandma and grandma don't have a pot to piss in, they don't have any medical care, they can't find food to eat, what then? Is that what you want? Same for you. What you going to do when you're in that situation?
They're going to blame it on somebody
What
else.
you going to do?
It'll
Yep.
be somebody
Then your
else's
life,
fault.
Yep.
and then and as I said before, talking about this, coming around again, the one of the reasons they're in the cult, coach, is that their lives haven't worked out for them, okay?
Yeah.
But instead of evaluating their lives and going, okay, what can I do?
Yeah.
What can I do to get better? They blame everybody else. And so now Trump is their epitome of that.
Yeah.
And so that's the best thing they can get. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I was just going to say this. What got them there is their racism, their hate, their misogyny. That got them to the table because they were paying attention then, right? Because they wanted to eat at the same table. Everybody was talking about racism and this. But the deeper they sat, the longer they sat there, and the deeper this guy just fed them this all, and Fox News, just the misinformation. Their brains became trained, like it just over time. And I don't think we understand. Like I had an epiphany tonight when I read that stuff. These people overlooked this guy trying to burn our Capitol down. Just think about that by itself.
Exactly.
That's okay, because he said Nancy Pelosi really did it. Are you like a 5-year-old could sit back and witness everything play out and tell you whose fault it was? A 5-year-old.
Exactly.
Yeah,
The
let me
whole
give
thought
you
on live TV.
let me give you a personal example. My son just left this live. He was on listening with all of this. My son is trans, okay, and I tried to explain to my mother how all the words that are being pulled out of certain documents and all the hate and all the different laws that are trying to be passed in different states and all that really affect my son. My son won't wear any of his pride stuff out anymore right now. It's sad. But my mom said, well, it's not really affecting him. He's fine. I don't see how it's affecting him at all. She just doesn't get it. She doesn't understand. I mean, it is affecting him. And, she just doesn't get it. She won't accept it. She doesn't get it. And I can't convince her otherwise. And I'm sorry, she's 80. There's not a whole lot I can do.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is I'm on Social Security disability. So yeah, it all scares me. I'm on Social Security disability and I'm on Medicare. And, unfortunately, if all that goes away, my mom's going to have to end up supporting me because she has some money. She's not like mega rich, but she has enough that she can give me my Social Security check every month and help me out. But I'm going to tell her I told you so when it happens.
Yeah.
She doesn't get it. She doesn't listen.
No, they're not. They have gone past this threshold where there's really the logical thinking's been gone. Like and the biggest thing is that the people around them that accompany it and make it okay, feed into it as well. So when you see other people doing it as well, it normalizes everything, and you come deeper and deeper and deeper. And
hey guys,
yeah,
I don't mean to interrupt. I'm sorry. Just FYI, Mike's going live right now, so
okay,
just so you know.
All
okay.
Right,
okay.
Yeah.
I gotcha. I hear you. Oh, the big dog's in there. I gotcha. Hey guys, then let's go ahead and revisit. You know what? I'm going to revisit this probably on, if you don't mind, a late night on Friday about 10:30 Eastern. Yeah. I want to revisit this, especially with you, Coach. This is a great conversation.
No problem.
Thank you for participating. And I appreciate the warning about Mike because, when the big dog eats, everyone's going to be there.
Yeah. Can I give you one more thing real quick?
Yeah, Miss Kim, go ahead. I appreciate you.
I have the number for the switchboard at the Capitol, and you just call that switchboard number and you ask for your representatives and your senators, and they will put you through.
Yep.
Y'all want that number?
Sure, put it out there, ma'am.
It's 202-224-3121.
Outstanding.
And you will get the Capitol switchboard person, and she will put you through to who you ask for. Now, the senators usually don't answer themselves, but I did get someone in the office of my representative from my area, and it wasn't the representative herself. but I was able to actually voice my opinion to an actual person. But yeah, I mean, flood their lines.
Good advice. Hey
Yeah.
guys, you have a good rest of the evening. JD, thanks for helping. I'll see you in a
We'll
moment.
see you over
You
I'll
can
see you over there.
see
All
you
right,
at
see you all over there. Bye.
thank you, Miss Kim.
All right,
And you
bye-bye.
can find me at Binder38US on TikTok, YouTube. You guys have a good night, and we'll do this again soon. I appreciate you showing up. Take care,
Okay.
y'all.
Good night.
Night.